In this tutorial, I will show you how to find the critical values in a t-hypothesis test, and we'll do quite a few examples. So we're going to follow the following steps. We're going to draw the probability density curve of the test statistics distribution. Then we're going to draw the rejection region according to the type of the test, and then we'll label the areas and critical values, and then we'll compute the critical values. For computing the critical values, you probably want to use some sort of technology or have access to a statistical t-table. Anyway, let's get started. So here's a problem, and we have clearly a t procedure here. So we identify the involved distribution as a t with 29 degrees of freedom, and we have a right tail test, and the significance level is 10%. So we're ready to begin. I'm going to use some generic t-curve, and t-curves look a lot like z-curves, so it doesn't matter what curve do you sketch to draw out the diagram, as long as it's some positive curve above the y-axis. And let's get started. So we have a right tail test, so I'm going to draw the rejection region to the right, so my rejection region will be to the right of the critical value. And we're going to label the area. So we label the area according to the type of the procedure and the significance level. So the rejection region's area is always equal to the significance level. So in this case, this is equal to 0.1, and therefore this is equal to 0.9. Using alpha notation, we will label this critical value as t sub 0.1, and as you can see, the left critical value does not exist in a right tail procedure, so we can immediately answer that. Now, to find the critical value, this is where we're going to use some sort of technology or a statistical table, but we're going to use the following fact. So the probability of t being greater than t sub 0.1 is equal to 0.1. That's what the alpha notation means. So I'm going to use StatCrunch because it's quite visual, but there are alternative ways such as using a TI-83 calculator or a statistical table. So we're going to open the T calculator, and of course, to pick the right one, we have to choose the right number of degrees of freedom, which is in this problem 29. And now we're going to replicate this image by setting it up the following way. So we're looking at the area to the right of the critical value being equal to 0.1, and there you go. This is your critical value. And it's that easy. Now, sketching out the rejection region, given what we already have in front of us, is a straightforward task. So the rejection region is to the right of 1.3. So we're just going to change this here and move this to 1.3. And this is what the rejection region looks like in this particular T procedure. All right, let's do another one. Hopefully it's not a right tail test again. Okay, let's generate a new one. Let's do at least one or two of each. Let's get another one. Okay, this is a two-tail test, but before we get to the two-tail test, I want to actually try a left-tail test. There you go. So we're gonna follow exactly the same steps. I'm gonna use the same t-distribution because it just doesn't matter. What I meant to say, I'm going to use the same curve, not the same distribution, because clearly we have a t-distribution with 27 degrees of freedom, but it doesn't matter which curve you use to draw out the diagram. Then I'm going to draw the rejection region. The rejection region will be to the left of the critical value. So this is where my rejection region is, and we're going to label the areas using the fact that the area of the rejection region is alpha. So this area is 5%. This area is 95%. Using the alpha notation, I can label this critical value as t sub 0.95. And I'm going to find this. I can find this using the fact that the probability of t being greater than t.95 is equal to 0.95 if you're working off the alpha notation. Or you can, if you have like a more advanced technology, or you can use the fact that probability of t being less than t.95 is equal to your alpha. So I'm going to show you how to do it both ways. First of all, let's open the right calculator that has 27 degrees of freedom, and then the area to the right of that value is 0.95. So this is one way to find the critical value. Also, while we're here, we should answer this question. The right critical value in a left tail procedure simply does not exist. However, we can also use the fact that the area to the left of the critical value is 0.05, and guess what? We would get exactly same answer. So it doesn't matter which one you use when you have a visual calculator like StatCrunch, and it does matter when you're using something else. So be careful. All right, let's submit this, and let's draw out the rejection region. It's going to be to the left of -1.7 because we round to 1 decimal place, and we're ready to move on. Hopefully the next problem is a two-tail procedure. Yep, there you go. In a two-tail procedure, we're going to use exactly the same steps. And I'm going to keep the same sketch of some generic T curve, and we're going to draw the rejection region according to the type of the test. So in a two-tail test, the rejection region will be in both sides of the spectrum. So we're going to draw it out exactly, showing that. And now we're going to label the areas. The total area of the rejection region is alpha. But in a two-tail test, it's evenly divided between the two tails. So the area of each tail is 2.5%. And that means the area in the middle is 0.95. Now, using the alpha notation, we can label this area as T.025, and this area we can label as T.975, but using the symmetry, we can also conclude that that quantity will be exactly the opposite of the right critical value. This is only true when you have a distribution that is symmetric around x equals 0. It's not going to be true for right skewed distributions, for example. However, in this case, we can definitely try to take advantage of that. Now, to find the right critical value, we're going to use the fact that probability of t is greater than t sub 0.25 is equal to 0.025. And to find the left critical value, we can just take the opposite of what the right critical value is, or we can use the fact that the probability of t is greater than t sub 0.975 is equal to 0.975. Or alternatively, we can use the fact that the probability of t being less than t sub 0.975 is equal to 0.025. I hope you can see that. One way or another, we're going to find the left critical value. And I'm going to use StatCrunch. We're going to open the right T calculator. So we're going to enter the 43 degrees of freedom. And let's start with finding the right critical value. It's going to be the area to the right of 8 is 0.025. So this is my right critical value. Now, to find the left critical value, again, we can just take the opposite of that. However, we can also use the fact that the area to the right of the left critical value is 0.975, and we got exactly the same answer. We could have also obtained this answer using the fact that the area to the left of the left critical value is 0.025. And we could have also just flipped the sign of the right critical value to obtain that value. So there's more than one way to make sure you got the right answer. So let's submit this and let's draw the rejection region. It's a two-tail test, so rounding everything to 1 decimal gives us this rejection region. Now, if you want to use a shortcut, you can also use the fact that the area between the critical values in a two-tail test is equal to 1 minus alpha, which is 0.95. And in this case, we get both critical values at the same time. However, it's the opposite of what we want to be shaded is shaded here. So the rejection region is now in white, and what's in between is in red. However, it does allow us to find the critical values in one quick step. Anyway, we got this right, so let me show you how to do these problems once again. Let's do one of each as an example, but this time I'm not going to spend time drawing out this diagram. I'm just going to go straight to StatCrunch and think out loud. So we have a right tail test. So in the right tail test, the left critical value does not exist. And also in the right tail test, the area to the right of the critical value is your alpha. So this is how we find it. So this is my right critical value. And of course, this is the right answer. To draw it out, it's easy. Given what's in front of us, it's really hard to make a mistake here. If you answer the first question correctly, you understand what's going on. All right, so let's do another problem. Left tail test. So in the left tail test, first let's draw the right t chart, probability density curve, and then in the left tail test, the right critical value doesn't exist, and the area to the left of the left critical value is equal to alpha. So this is your left critical value. Now let's draw it out. And we're done with the left critical value. Now for the two-tailed test, hopefully the next one is a two-tailed test. Nope, let's generate a new problem. Yep, this is a two-tailed test. We're going to do it in, I'll show you a couple ways here, right? So first we open the right calculator, so we enter 22 degrees of freedom. And in a two-tailed test, the significance level is evenly split between the tails. So if you take your alpha and divide it by 2, that's the area to the left of the left critical value. It is also the area to the right of the right critical value. Well, you can see that one is the opposite of another one. We could have also obtained these same values by using this little shortcut that we can do in StatCrunch, and you cannot do it in TI-83 or a table. So let's take advantage of that, and we'll just enter the area in between the critical values is 1 minus alpha. So we got exactly the same answers once again. So multiple ways. So make sure whichever way you like, it's the right one. And it's working out for you well. So we draw the rejection regions as two regions, to the right of 2.1 and to the left of negative 2.1. And we've done 2 of each type of the test. So if you have any questions, please let me know.